So this is going to be a quick review of a fragrance I actually had, well, should have been delivered weeks ago. Been sitting at the post office. Apparently they attempted to deliver it. Didn't leave a notice or anything like that. And yeah, it just was sitting there for weeks. So I decided to finally pick it up before it got sent back to the sender. I was given a text message actually by the post office to come pick it up. So not sure why they didn't leave a notice, but anyway. This is Assad, or Asada, not sure which, by Lattafa. And this is supposed to, from what I can tell or what I've seen, basically be a clone of Sauvage Elixir. So we're going to get into it, see how close it is, and yeah, see if it is indeed a clone. Anybody who's familiar with Sauvage Elixir, it is the newest flanker from the Sauvage line. It is basically a more mature, an extremely potent version of Sauvage. And not that Sauvage, is not strong in general, but this, it takes that to the next level. I mean, I'm talking literally this will be on your clothes for days, and it projects like crazy. So you don't go too heavy on the sprays with this. It really just takes a kind of much more mature, darker, richer spin on the Sauvage DNA. It kind of smells like a fougere. Like if you took the normal Sauvage, which is basically an ambroxan, a spicy kind of ambroxan citrus fragrance, right? And then mixed it, which is kind of technically almost, the blue fragrance line, not really like Bleu de Chanel, but it's often grouped into that same category. And then added something like, a lot of times people say Drakkar Noir, something like that, where it's got that kind of fougere, almost not shaving cream vibe, but something along those lines. It smells much more mature. It's got added notes of cinnamon, licorice. So again, there's kind of almost like an oriental spicy kind of vibe that this takes. It's super, in my opinion, it smells really good. Extremely masculine. This is by no means a unisex fragrance. I've gotten a ton of compliments on it. I think a lot of that, this honestly probably is one of my most complimented fragrances. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with how strong it is. People pick it up on you and it lasts forever. So obviously if people can smell it on you, they're more likely to compliment you for it. But I wear this a ton. You can actually probably see, this is my second bottle. Well, I haven't gone through the other bottle. I have two bottles, but I guess you can't see, it's too dark. But this one's about, I don't know, 75% left, maybe 70%. And then I do have another bottle of it. But I've been giving this quite a, frequent wear. And it has quickly became my favorite release of the year. So here's the box of the clone. Again, this is by Lattafa. It's Eau de Parfum concentration, 3.4 ounce. This cost me under 30 bucks. Now, I had to wait for a while because of that. It came directly ordered from eBay. I'll list the seller in the comment section, but it came directly from India. So it took a little bit to get, but again, for the price, 20-something bucks for 100 ml, and you're talking this is 100 and I believe 25 for a what is this, a 60 ml? Don't get me wrong. A lot of people talk like that's a crazy price, which it is for a designer fragrance, but especially for a 60 ml fragrance. But this doesn't take much. Okay, again, a couple sprays of this is going to last you all day, so don't worry about. This is going to last you just as long as your 100 ml of another fragrance would, if not longer. So the price is kind of justified in that extent, to that extent. But if you can get 100 ml of it for a third of the price, if that, a fourth of the price, and it's basically double the size, why not? This is what the bottle looks like. Actually, looks way better in person than the pictures I saw. Looks like it's of higher quality. Obviously, this gold is not. This is plastic. Okay, it's not metal. The bottle itself is also plastic. It's just harder plastic, but it looks pretty cool. Presentation, it's got a little decal. It says made in the UAE, Eau de Parfum, Lattafa logo on the top. So it looks like sprayer. Let's see what the atomizer is like. First, I'm going to spray the original, and now I'm not going to be able to give you a performance update right now. I'm going to have to wear it. I have not worn this. I literally just unboxed it, obviously, so I don't know, but at least for scent profile wise, I'll be able to give you some input. Yeah. So again, you get that super masculine ambroxan, citrus in there, but there is this kind of like creamy fougere vibe to it as well. Okay, it's definitely spicy. It's got this almost oriental touch to it. Like I said, it's very good. It's almost like old school meets modern. In fact, that kind of is what it is. So, you know, I think it's the most unique of the Sauvage line as well. Not a bad atomizer. Okay. Okay. Definitely smells like it, but they're not, I can tell you right now, they're not one-to-one. And this has, what I've noticed from a lot of the Lattafa line, the Luxador line, really the Middle Eastern fragrances in general, they all kind of have this similar underlying spice, almost like spice note in them. You get it in Prince Luxador, you get it in the Side Effect clones, you get it in a lot of the fragrances. And that has this. So it's just, it does smell very similar. It's not as sweet. It's more spicy, almost like a pepper kind of spice that I'm saying that you get in a lot of the Middle Eastern fragrances. Also doesn't smell like it's going to be quite as strong as the original. It's not as creamy. It's still the fougere vibe. It's definitely, you can tell it's supposed to be a Sauvage Elixir cologne. And it's dang close. That said, it's not one-to-one. Like I said, it's definitely spicier. Not quite as sweet. Not as smooth. But it's not a bad cologne at all. Especially for the size. I'm going to spray it on the skin. See if it changes at all. So initially, you do get a little bit of alcohol in that. You do not get that with the Sauvage Elixir. You are getting it with the clone. It smells a little rough at first. It's, again, kind of like a scratchier version of Sauvage Elixir. But as it's drying down, even now, even though it's only been a couple of seconds and on the strip, a lot of that, I think, is that alcohol in the opening. It just kind of, you know, ruins the initial kind of, well, scent profile. But as it dries down and some of that goes away, it really starts to resemble it. Again, it's not quite as sweet. It's more spicy. It smells like there's like more black pepper in it. It's not as creamy, for lack of a better word. It doesn't have as much of that barbershop-y vibe, but it's still there. It's just more spicy. It's less sweet and a little more rough. That said, I would imagine you probably couldn't tell too much of a difference in the sillage if you're walking around wearing these. So people, you know, when you're out and about, I don't think you're really able to tell the difference between the two. That said, yeah, I mean, initially you can smell the quality difference in Dior's. As soon as you spray it, there's none of that harsh alcohol opening. There's none of that scratchiness in the opening. It's also, you're getting more of that cinnamon and that kind of licorice. It's and less of that pepper. But they are very close. I would say 90%, if I had to put a number on it. There's definitely a difference. But I mean, and honestly, this isn't, where it misses the mark isn't necessarily bad. It's just kind of like a spicier version. Quite honestly, when I'm smelling them up close on the skin, and I'm just talking like directly, you know, off the skin, this is smelling more appealing to me. And I think that's something that I've noticed with a lot of people who have reviewed Elixir. They were initially off-put by it, you know, get a little put off by it when they smell it on the skin. I didn't understand why, because I'd worn it and loved it, you know. But when you smell it up close, it's not as appealing as it is in the sillage. This, honestly, the cologne smells better up close once that initial alcohol dissipates. Now, I don't know about wearing it and how that's going to translate, you know, as far as picking it up in the air. And I also don't know performance, so I will update you on that. But if you're looking for a cheap, very affordable, obviously, Elixir cologne, this is not bad, okay? Scent profile-wise, it smells great. And I imagine it's going to get just as many compliments, assuming it performs just as well as the original. And I don't think you're going to really be missing the original, quite frankly. So, and the bottle looks pretty cool. I will wear this, give you all an update, I'll let you know. But yeah, I would put it in the 90% mark. It definitely has some slight nuances that are a little different. Again, you're getting more black pepper in this, not quite as much of the licorice and the cinnamon. It's more alcohol, you know, in the opening, and it's a little scratchier all around. It's not as smooth. Quite frankly, I'm not surprised. I guess to some extent that's to be expected, the difference in price. But as this is drying down, it is getting closer to what Elixir smells like on the skin. There's some slight differences, but again, I'd put it at 90%. It's pretty freaking close. And for the size, I mean, it's kind of hard to pass up. Now, I'll do a video later comparing this to like Alexandria's, and I also have Dua's colognes, so you know kind of price point wise. But I mean, price wise, like if we're just talking about price, nothing else, this obviously beats all of them. I think Alexandria's 100 ml runs you around $100. So it's still cheaper when you're talking about the size you get compared to the real thing, because theirs is 100 ml instead of a 60 ml. And Dua's certainly is a 30 ml for whatever it is, $50, or I don't even know what it is anymore with the discount. But regardless, you're getting at best the Dua's going to be still probably more than this, and this is over three times the size. So this beats all of them as far as that goes. But I'll send profile wise for those of you that are interested, as well as Kings. I can do a comparison. I don't have Central Obsessions, but you know, I might pick that up if you're all interested in me doing a comparison. Either way, I will update you on this. I don't want this video to be too long. I'll update you on this, and then I'm going to be very shortly here, probably in the next couple of minutes, shooting the initial latent video and the latent comparison video. I know it's long overdue, and I do apologize for that. I've been crazy busy on working on some other projects, which I'll probably announce in that video. But anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, it's not bad at all, especially as it's drying down. So I certainly, I'll update you on performance, but assuming the performance isn't horrendous, this is absolutely worth picking up.